Okay. Should be going live in a few seconds.
I'm ready.
There we are. Welcome to another riveting edition of Weaponized Autism. I'm your host, Some Sped, back with my co-host, Another Sped. And, we didn't really have a set topic for the stream. We're just gonna just do kind of chat about whatever. Last time we tried to have a specific subject, it didn't exactly work out. So, I guess, thanks to GameStop's propaganda mill, Game Informer, we now have some new gameplay to salivate over with regards to the upcoming Resident Evil 4 remake. Fuck yes.
Still say they should remake Code Veronica first.
Yeah. Yes, they should. But apparently they're not. I don't know if there are now any plans currently to remake Code Veronica. Now that they no longer not so that they don't have to divert their resources away from one remake to another.
Well, Capcom just shut down. Capcom just shut down the production of the fan remake. Yeah. So hey, maybe that's something.
Yeah, which the last time they shut down a fan remake was when they were getting ready to drop some major stuff for the RE2 remake. And the guy the people who were working on their fan-made RE2 remake wound up being invited over to Capcom headquarters and pushed in the direction of maybe we could make our own game, and that led to Daymare 1998. Which I do have a copy of on my PS4. For some reason, the PS4 is the only console that has physical copies of Daymare 1998.
That was a good game.
I've only played a little bit of it. I haven't gotten that far, but I do at some point plan to hop back on it and maybe play it again on the channel. I'm just going to say this up front. I tried starting a playthrough of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid and was quickly reminded of why I don't play fighting games. Because I blow ass at them. If it's not Super Smash Brothers, then I'm dog shit at it, which I'm not even that great of a Smash Brothers player either.
No, you should hop on Multiverses then.
Yeah, I think I still want to do a Power Rangers game in tribute to Jason David Frank. I think I need to find maybe one of the side-scrolling beat-em-ups from the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis era. Because I think there was a side-scrolling beat-em-up, like a Final Fight, Streets of Rage, Double Dragon type Power Rangers game made off of the 1995 movie.
And there's also Power Rangers Dino Thunder on the GameCube.
Which I do have I have a Wii, but it's backwards compatible with GameCube, so there's that.
That particular season featured Jason David Frank as Tommy.
Okay. So now is he in the Dino Thunder game?
I believe he's in the intro. Yes.
Okay, well, I want to have one where I can actually play as Tommy Oliver.
That I'm not too sure. I haven't played that game since it came out, and it was on PS2, I think, when I played it.
Okay. Well, I'll figure something out.
But you're probably better off with like one of the old side scrollers from like the Sega or Super Nintendo.
Yeah, which I've been thinking about doing some more 16-bit era stuff on the channel anyway. I just uploaded a playthrough of Panzer Dragoon Remake for the Switch.
Yeah.
Which that's going to be going live on Friday. since I already had one up today earlier, MacBat 64. An interesting little indie title. Makes me want to dust off my Nintendo 64, which that's always a good thing.
Yeah, don't. If there's one game you want to avoid, it's Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue on Nintendo 64. Because there's this one part where you're rescuing people in frickin' vehicles, and it goes, and they're like, over here, all right, over here, all right, and I'm just gonna quote Angry Video Game Nerd on that one. Over here, all right, over here, all right, over here, all right, over here, all right.
That sounds like it'd just be the Ramirez meme from Modern Warfare 2. Ramirez, do everything! Every time you turn around, you've got Keith David in your ear going, Ramirez!
Well, I don't care if I hear it in my ear as long as it's not while I'm sleeping.
Right? Oh no, you don't want to hear Sergeant Foley while you're sleeping, because that means you fell asleep on Firewatch, and that is not a good thing. The last thing you want to do is fall asleep on Firewatch.
No shit.
All you veterans and...
Alright, how about we get a look at that game? Wait, what?
All you veterans will appreciate that remark.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the... First off, I noticed, before I hit play, I noticed quite a few people griping about the way the rain looks. And I'm just thinking, it doesn't look that bad. It's rain.
Doesn't look any different from the original.
Sorry, what?
It don't look any different from the original.
Yeah, it's not... Like, people were comparing it to the rain physics to the way the rain looked in the recent botched GTA remasters of 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and it's like, no. You actually
I wouldn't know because I don't play GTA.
You still have some visibility here. On those GTA remasters, it looked like somebody was jizzing through a sieve right over the scenery. That's what it looked like in the GTA remasters.
Hey.
That just sounds like a Jackass bit.
Are you serious? You look in the Star Wars Encyclopedia. Apparently, there's music called Jizz.
Really?
And musicians are called Jizz Whalers.
Now I know what to call the band that was in the Mos Eisley Cantina.
The Jizz Whalers.
Yes.
Watch Angry Video Game Nerd's video on Masters of Terras Kasai for the PS1. A non-canon Star Wars game. Terras Kasai means Steel Fist or some shit like that. Oh, so they're ripping off Tekken.
Yeah. Oh. But, let's get started on this. I'm assuming this is the church that you recover Ashley from early on in the game. I can see the Los Illuminados logo on the back. It's nice to know that, before we go any further, Leon rushing up for this execution thing here. I don't know if you saw this. I saw this on Baffled Buffoon's video covering this stuff. Apparently, if you leave the bodies of the Ganados lying for too long, they will start to convulse on the ground. They'll go into like a seizure, and if you don't do this little knife execution move on them, they will get up and they'll have like a broken neck, just head hanging off to the side, and
while there's parasite coming out of the head,
and they'll be I supposedly faster and have increased strength. So It's like this game's version of the Crimson Heads from the RE1 remake.
It would have been nice to see the Crimson Heads in RE2 remake. Just saying, because
Yeah.
apparently that's the mutation that happens before the liquor.
Right? That would have been fucking insane. Dude, just imagine how much more of a pain in the ass that would have made some sections of the game. So let's keep going.
If Resident Evil 2 got a remake around like in the style of the RE1 remake, like when they should have done it years ago, they definitely would have included the Crimson Heads.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I like that. Now I like that you do not have to. That you can actually rush up on a Ganado that's carrying Ashley off, and just outright gank him in the neck.
Like.
Yeah. Now I don't know if you saw this. I saw this. This was also part of Baffled's video. That apparently one of the changes they made was to how you handle Ashley through the escort sections. That apparently you can have her follow you very closely, or you can have her kind of hang back a little more, but you can't have her you can't outright tell her to just stay in one place, and you can't there's no like dumpsters or whatever for you to tell her to hide in, which is bullshit.
I mean, they'll be fine as long as they don't bring back the Bella sisters, but considering you already said they're not cutting any content, expect to see the Bella sisters.
The Bella sisters I can handle, but...
Yeah, if you have a hand cannon.
I mean, I've handled them with and without Ashley right next to me. I just prefer to use that dumpster. I just prefer to put Ashley in that dumpster because... It's just more convenient to have her not be like right there while I'm shooting those two crazy wenches.
They're well, apparently Leon can fucking parry chainsaws now, so...
Yeah, so there's that. Now, there's some... I'm just going to say this outright. There is some anti-SJW grifter on YouTube that is going to throw a shit fit at the fact that Ashley has apparently had breast reduction.
Yeah, but they're still gonna include. They're obviously still gonna include the. I see they equipped the president's daughter with ballistics too.
Yeah, so it's like.
But she looks more like the RE Engine version of Heather Mason from Silent Hill 3.
A little bit, yeah, I can see that. But some grifter from the anti-SJW side of YouTube, whether it's the Quarter Pounder with Cheesening or Geeks and Grifters, is going to throw a shit fit about it.
Fuck them. They can grow a pair and get the fuck over it.
Well, yeah, did you see that Synthetic Man was calling the Dead Space remake woke trash because because number one, they included Asians and black people in the church propaganda of the on the Ishimura, and that because they have all gender restrooms on the Ishimura, because that's what matters in a game about in a survival horror video game.
I mean, I watched a full playthrough of the Dead Space remake. I'd say it looks very faithful to the original.
Never mind the fact that unisex bathrooms were on the Ishimura in the original game back in 2009. 2008. That's like a detail that you have to deliberately be looking for.
Yeah. Most YouTubers just look for someone to whine and bitch about.
Yeah.
Like that Scorpion guy, I kind of sort of had a rivalry with. Like he was bitching about Resident Evil 8, and I said, "Hey, you don't have to play if you don't want to, but stop making multiple videos bitching about this and that about it."
Yeah. And now Synthetic Man's newest go-to uh, grift is complaining about the apparently the third episode of HBO's The Last of Us portraying the character of Bill as gay, even though he was gay in the video game.
Yeah, they're just sticking to the characters in the story.
Which I did not know Bill was gay when I played The Last of Us last year. It
doesn't change the game.
No, it doesn't affect the fact that he's one of my favorite characters of that game. Even though the game itself,
right,
I'm not a particularly big fan of. I really liked Bill's character.
Yeah, so far The Last of Us has been a more faithful video game adaptation than most shit you see these days.
Well, it helps that the showrunner, that one of the primary executive producers for it is Neil Druckmann, and that's the guy who wrote and directed The Last of Us, both games.
Yeah. Isn't Naughty Dog shutting down?
Not as far as I know.
Because I thought I heard something recently that Naughty Dog's shutting down.
No, they're not shutting down. The last thing I heard was Neil Druckmann saying that the next game they work on is going to be less linear than previous Naughty Dog games have been. That they're approaching a more open-ended. The approach he compared it to was to that of Elden Ring, where it's less overt and it's less hand holding, I guess it was the phrase he used. Which is not a game developer phrase. That's a gamer phrase. So know he's been watching Twitter and he's fully aware of all the criticisms people have towards his design choices.
Shit happens.
But anyways, that could be the merchant's shop. Now that, I'm going to guess, this creepy
little...
Is it the cap? Do what?
Oh, I thought it's still not caught. My end of the screen's not caught up on the live stream yet, so...
Okay.
No, it's fine. But yeah, that one area was the cabin. The next shot where he's holding what looks like the Red 9 looks like the merchant's shop.
Yeah.
What was the one before the painting?
That was... Let me go back. Yep, this one here with the Red 9, like you mentioned. I hope the Red 9 is still the best handgun to use in the entire game. Because it's the best handgun in the original, hands down.
It's basically a Mauser.
It is a Mauser. It's a full-on
C96.
Yeah, the Han Solo gun.
Pretty much, yeah.
So,
just need to add a tiny little scope to it and you're set.
Now, I'm curious as to whether this particular room here with the painting is in... If it could be in, like, Mendez's house, or if it's somewhere in the castle.
I think it looks like the hallway of the house where you first encounter Mendez.
Yeah. The big cheese.
What? Well, the part after that.
Yeah.
After you get captured and knocked out and captured.
You'll get the same blood.
Didn't just... Yeah. To sum up the abridged series, how come you didn't just shoot him with your gun? Good point! Lands on Lewis.
You carry the same blood as us, it seems. Nevertheless, you're an outsider. Fucking love Mendez.
In another abridged series, he says, "You have pink eye. Stay away from me."
I think I've seen that one.
And then when you go in the room, punch. I told you I don't want to catch pink eye. Yes. And then, the obvious scene where Ada shoots Mendez in the back.
Yeah.
And then it's like, big shot, Mendez, hey, red dress, Toro, Toro. uh, fuck the girl back 10 years ago. 10 years ago, those abridged series, both those abridged series were my main entertainment.
That is awesome.
It's too bad the bizarre guitarist never got to finish his abridged series.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
There's a third one that's called like abridged Spood. But the only thing I remember from that abridged series is the scene where Leon goes to the military kind of sort of military base, and he is analyzing the situation, and that's right before Mike shows up.
Right.
And as it's going over the picture, a random anime head pops out of nowhere like cameo. Okay, where were we?
One of these days, I'm gonna make a meme, an entire meme video, just say Mortal Kombat Toasty goes with everything, and then run the clip of Mike getting blown up.
Toasty! Or shooting an enemy riser about to blow their torch on you.
Yeah. Oh, that can work too. But just the really morbid ones, like as soon after Mike's helicopter gets blown up with an RPG, just Dusty. Now, there's nothing really earth-shattering about this image. It's just Leon out in the open, in the rain.
With the silver ghost without a laser sight?
Yeah, apparently, so you are going to start with crosshairs. None of the firearms come equipped with laser sights right off the bat. But laser sights are an upgrade for your guns that you can purchase from the merchant.
I can live with that.
Yeah, it's an add-on. It's a modification. That makes perfect sense.
Then again, I'm probably not going to use them, because I've gotten so used to getting to aim with an actual crosshair in recent years.
Right.
But I'll probably get them just for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah, same. Yeah, sure, Ashley. You're like 20 feet up, but yeah, just jump, and you won't shatter the arms in my shoulder. You won't shatter the bones in my shoulders or anything. Dude, what if she landed right on his head?
The over music. But you think they'll bring back okay, so you know how like if you have to catch her and you aim your gun up, she'll be like, "Oh, you pervert."
Right.
You think they'll bring that back?
Probably not.
I was about to say, for nostalgia's sake, they need to bring back that clip from her.
They cut that out of the VR version of RE4. I don't think they're going to bring being able to look up her skirt back.
I was about to say, they obviously did not put anything up there, but it's still funny just to aim up there and just hear her say, "Oh, you pervert."
I mean, that's the same reason Jill's. I mean, that's the same reason Jill's classic outfit in the RE3 remake went from being a tube top and a mini skirt to a tube top and a skirt. I'm guessing is because they didn't want people using the 3D camera to look up her skirt.
Well, they're probably just gonna see like a plain patch of skin color.
Yeah, well,
like a flat surface instead of a vagina.
Well, in the RE1 remake, when you put on Jill's classic outfit, I don't know if it's this way in the GameCube version, but in the HD remasters, Capcom put into where they deliberately changed that they deliberately made it so that you could not actually look up Jill's skirt, and even if you could, it would either crash the game or it wouldn't matter because she's wearing black underwear.
It's like, wow. Imagine doing that in a game. You just got cockblocked by Capcom.
Well, there's enough fan art online. Doesn't make much of a difference.
We all know what you weird. We all know what you weird fanboys fap to.
Yeah.
I can't. Not me. I've never had an interest in pornography.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I go and watch that when I literally have a girlfriend who does those things for me for free? Well, not girlfriend, fiance.
Yeah. Now this is interesting. Now during the cabin section with where it's you and Luis, apparently, and this is again I saw this on Baffled's video. Apparently, you can actually board up some of the windows in the cabin, like in the RE2 remake, which can help give you something of an edge against the angry mob.
Yeah, in the RE2 remake, that first hallway you go down behind that shutter, I always board those. Those are really the only windows I board up during a speed run, because I can just run through and not have to worry about shooting any zombies, thus consuming more time.
Well, I don't speed run. I try to board up as much as I can so that I have less zombies to deal with by the time Mr. X shows up, because he is such a pain in the ass, especially in scenario B.
Oh, try using a green key and going back down that hall. It seems like, I swear, Capcom will put him there every single fucking time. We try to sneak past the liquor to get to that shamrock door to get the frickin' jack handle.
Yeah.
And then you you can't run away from Mr. X because then that will alert the liquor. So that's why you gotta go in the opposite direction. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You can't go back to whence you came. You have to continue down that hallway.
Yeah. Oh.
Sneak past the liquors that are outside the weapons locker room. Sneak past those liquors and you're home free. But yeah. But then you gotta lure the tyrants the other side of the station before you go take. Okay, so lure the tyrants the other side of the station. Shoot them once in the head with the magnum. Run back over to the bookcases and shit. And the other night I did what you did in your playthrough. I decided to move just the one on the end, along with the others, and it's like, I wish I would have known this 4 fucking years ago. All right, I'm done rambling. Let's continue.
I think I discovered that you could do that on accident the first time I played it. But yeah,
I just moved one at a time for like the first 100 playthroughs.
But yeah, you can board up the windows. That should definitely give you a little bit of an edge in dealing with the angry mob during this section of the game.
Sure.
I'm still going to assume that Mendez is going to be the stalker character they added that they put in the game, because he's the biggest he's the biggest size character out of all the enemies in the original game, and it would make sense to make him the stalker character. He's about the size of Mr. X, if not bigger. Unless you get to the island section and Krauser becomes the stalker character, which would make sense because of his special ops background. Oh no, don't tell me I lost you.
No.
Okay.
I was just listening.
You just weren't responding.
I was letting you finish.
Okay. Go to the next image.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on Krauser to be revealed.
Yeah, which I have a feeling they're going to, now supposedly they have gotten rid of the cutscene QuickTime events, which I'm not going to complain about. I don't mind QuickTime events, but putting them like right in the middle of story cutscenes is kind of bullshit.
I mean, I don't know. I was actually a big. The knife fight is one of my favorite segments.
Yeah, I still love how out of place it is for a Resident Evil game because between the sweeping cinematography, the John Woo slow motion, and the QuickTime events, it feels like it belongs in a well, not even the QuickTime events. It feels like it belongs in a Metal Gear Solid game. It's like, come on, Resident Evil. Metal Gear Solid is not that great of a franchise. You deserve better. There's nothing really special about this image. It's a couple of Ganados with their plaga heads exposed. Although it does look like Leon's got his rifle, got a bolt action rifle ready from the merchant. And yeah, definitely save up your. For those of you who haven't played the original Resident Evil 4, save your flashbangs because those are a godsend when the plaga heads get exposed.
Or just flash the PLR cannon.
Yeah.
That's free in the shop if I remember correctly.
There's nothing really special here. Just the weapons loadout. Typewriters are back. Of course. I assume this is some cabin somewhere in the village.
Probably. That's probably the merchant's hand on the left there.
Yeah. And of course,
Don't know what this is.
no, it looks like it could be. It looks like the entrance. It looks like it could be the entrance to the church.
No, I meant the previous image.
Oh, yeah. This looks like it could be the entrance to the church, in
Probably
from
the inside.
but from a different angle.
Yeah. Classic villagers.
Now this is a new. Once the stream catches up, this is a new type of. I heard that they were going to add some new like mini bosses for you to deal with.
That better not be the Garrador redesign.
I don't think it is. From what I understand, Capcom, I guess, made some additional like added some mini bosses throughout the game on top of giving slight redesigns to other mini bosses and boss characters. So this is going to be an entirely new guy to deal with. Kind of, I'm almost getting Executioner vibes from RE5. Honestly, just looking at him. He between the mask, even though the Executioner in RE5 it was a shroud. You know, I'm assuming that's like a cow's head or something. Maybe it's a pig's head.
That's definitely a cow's head.
I'm just saying because of the tusk on the side. And then the big ass, like, that's got to be like 20-30 pounds of pure lead right there.
I think that's actually holding them. I don't think those are tusks. Those are actually holding the mask on.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously I see the ropes coming out of the mouth, but I think there is like a tusk to the side, off, like to this, just barely visible on the left side of the snout.
Okay, now I see it.
Yeah, so that's like a cow's head or a pig's head. But I'm curious to see what dealing with those things is going to be like. Especially with the new challenge of not being able to hide Ashley in dumpsters. Some gameplay imagery. Leon with his default pistol, which now looks more like John Wick's Heckler and Koch from, the dog.
I mean, if you think about it, in the live action in the CG animated RE films, Leon kind of did become John Wick.
Yeah, especially in Vendetta, because the director of that movie specifically said he modeled the action sequences off of the first John Wick movie, which is why Leon and Chris go all gun fu there at the end. Now you were telling me, oh shit, my head is covering the dog.
I know what it looks like. We're good.
Yeah, so I'm still gonna try to fix the image on the stream just to, okay, you can actually see it much better now. The now you were
Hellhound from Call of Duty.
yeah, you were telling me that Treyarch was probably going to sue somebody because because of how similar it is to the Hellhounds in Black Ops Zombies.
Not just Black Ops, World at War, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and so on.
Yeah. Which, that thing looks... I mean, the dogs were pretty intense looking in the original. This... Did they just... like it's like somebody... It's like one of the creature designers was like, okay, how much... Okay, do you want these to look like zombie dogs, or do you want this to look like Smile Dog? And the director and the game's director just said yes. I'm getting Smile Dog vibes from that face, and I'm not even a creepypasta fan.
I'm just saying, first thing we're gonna do is pull out the shotgun rifle and initiate the Old Yeller treatment.
Yes.
Booyah! Like, booyah!
Yeah.
Watch the Bizarre Guitarist of Bridge series, you'll get the joke.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to fight? Here you go. The Old Yeller treatment.
Yeah.
Booyah!
Yeah.
Happy? No, that wasn't a fight. That was just a stupid enemy fight. I was like, oh, dude, grow the fuck up. Grow a pair of balls. Move the fuck out of your mom's basement.
Yeah, oh, man. Just the way this dog is looking is just...
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Dude, I have to believe they took some influence from The Thing with some of the creature designs. Hell, I'm pretty sure they took, even though this isn't a Resident Evil game, I feel like they took influence from The Thing when they made Callisto Protocol, because I was getting some of The Thing vibes in that game with some of the creature designs there.
Did you hear there's Callisto Protocol DLC coming soon?
Sweet.
They're supposed to be anyway.
Now this is something
posted on that.
Now this is something I heard of. Apparently the merchant on will be giving you some side quests throughout the game, and not just grabbing the blue medallions. Like he'll give you some actual like missions to do, and you can do them for some treasures as you're going through the main game, which would that would be a cool addition to it. That would definitely add to that would definitely give speedrunners speedrunners, all they're going to do is just hack the game anyway, or they're just going to glitch out.
Cheating bastards.
Fuck speedrunners.
Hey.
Not legit speedrunners. Like if you play the game legitimately and speedrun, I'm talking about people who like find little exploits in games that they can use to just get to the end with almost no effort.
Yeah, that's just fucking lazy.
Fuck those people.
If I'm gonna do that, I want to kill something along the way.
Yeah. Games are meant to be played and enjoyed. There's a name for a game that's played but not really enjoyed. And believe it or not, it isn't Forspoken. It's waste. And I'm talking the watery, diaphanous Hershey shits that come soaring out after a 2 a.m. Taco Bell binge. The kind that leaves you feeling more hollow than Andrew Tate's rhetoric. Hey, man, any calendar day ending in a Y is ample opportunity to spit roast Tate and the cult of incels behind him.
Yeah, he looks like your average shitty baby daddy.
He looks like Gollum with a spray tan. If I shaved half of my nutsack, it would look like Andrew Tate. The only way he's a top G is if the G stands for Goomba, and I'm talking the live-action Super Mario Brothers Goomba.
Goomba!
Goomba! I just love the way Dennis Hopper says Goomba. But, yeah, so we've got some... So, apparently the merchant will be giving out side quests on the side. So... Well, nothing special about this image, just Leon with his... Now Leon and Ashley. And the inventory. I'm going to let the stream catch up for you a second here. So apparently, there are going to be charms that you can add to the attaché cases.
Dude, that looks like the RE8. That looks like a combination of the RE2 inventory and the RE8 inventory.
I mean, it looks more like RE4 and RE8 meshed together.
That works too.
And the way this person's inventory is set up is just triggering to me. Because I'm very... And I know you're the same way. I'm very OCD about the way my inventory is set up when I play Resident Evil.
Yeah, if you can, you should totally see if you can pull up the image of what I sent you earlier.
Yeah. Actually, let me see if I can, just through the chat. Oh, there it is. Right there. That's his current RE8 inventory. Very,
Look at all those fucking healing salves.
Yeah, which you absolutely need all those for the higher difficulties. Now, the only thing I want is
all those magnums are fully upgraded.
Nice.
All those guns there are fully upgraded.
Yeah. Now,
one thing. Well, the 1911's missing the extended mag, but I don't like how the extended mag looks when reloading, so I just left it off.
That's fair. I mean, you have infinite ammo anyway, so.
And plus, 15 shots is average for a handgun in Resident Evil.
Yeah, well, most handguns that are chambered in 9mm come with a 15 round capacity anyway.
Right. And some 1911s are chambered in 9mm.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I would like more than anything out of this game is if they can make the TMP not suck ass as a weapon.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah, I'm not.
Is it even called the TMP here?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure. Now, apparently, with the knives, which it's not shown clearly on the stream, the knives apparently, yeah, they can break, but you can find. Not only can you upgrade your Leon's knife, but you can also find various blades scattered throughout the game for use as you go.
Different blades, not the multiple same knife you pick up in the RE2 remake.
Yeah.
I wish they'd bring back that frickin' flaming hot knife, which was in the RE3 remake.
Yeah. Oh, that thing was OP as hell.
Set enemies ablaze.
Yeah. Now.
That reminds. Oh.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I lost my. No, it's fine.
I was just. I
lost my thought. It wasn't related anyway, so let's just move on.
Yeah. Now the new lake. The village setup. It looks very similar to the way it was set up originally, and I'm curious. I am very, very, very curious to see how much of the village and how much of the rest of the game, how closely it is to the original game and how much of it has been changed, because just going off of the footage we've seen so far, the place looks even more decrepit than it did back in 2005. It's a literal dump.
Yeah.
Like worse than it was in Village, which is an accomplishment because Village was an actual shithole. Okay. No, I guess that's it. I guess that is it for that.
No, we were gonna talk about what we do for a Code Veronica remake.
Yeah.
Like an official remake.
Yeah. Now, first off, my first order of business would be to give players the option of going with third-person over-the-shoulder camera, or going with a first-person camera, or going with the fixed camera angle perspective. Giving players the option to go with the 3D camera or the and I would want them, like, each different version of it to handle their own way. Like, obviously, fixed camera angles, you'd want to have the tank controls, because it just tank controls, the tank control scheme works better with fixed camera angles. I'm sorry, people who use the 3D control scheme in the RE1 remake and RE0 remasters. Tank controls just work better for a fixed camera angle type of game. Now,
I also still use them for the Onimusha remaster.
Yeah, that's just the options there, and I'm gonna take it.
I mean, it's what we grew up on.
I mean, is it clunky? Yes, but it's not as clunky as trying to reorient your control stick when you're going from one angle to another.
Try to run behind a corner and onto another screen with the, it just, because then you just find yourself running back in the same direction you just came.
Yeah. Or you have to literally stop to reorient, like, here, since I got my Switch controller right here, because I was playing Switch stuff earlier, it would be like me moving the stick right, so I could get my character moving right across the screen, and then the angle changes, and the camera is positioned slightly behind my character, so now I have to stop, and then move my stick up and to the left to be able to It's incredibly. I had to deal with that shit in Cold Fear because Cold Fear uses the 3D camera control scheme and it uses fixed camera angles, and it's like that's no. At least
That's
with
what happens when you're not sure what to do when ripping off Resident Evil.
yeah, which
I mean,
at
that
least
was Revelation before Revelations was a thing.
at least with those old games with the tank controls, at least up meant forward. Period. Like people gripe about the tank controls now, but it's like honestly, honestly, it's not that hard to figure out if you're not a complete paste eating moron or Darkside Phil. Never be like
Right.
DSP.
Right.
Yeah, I live by that philosophy, which is why the stream did not open with the fappening. That's what I call that particular incident in DSP's YouTube career. I call it the fappening.
That sounds like a porn parody. That sounds like a porn spoof of The Happening with Mark Wahlberg.
Exactly.
Thank God I haven't seen that version of the movie.
I think I downloaded the wrong movie.
That's like downloading the wrong Shrek. That's like downloading the wrong Shrek movie. But let's not visualize that. Let's just move on. Yeah, there you go. That'll keep you up at night.
Or that's
if you get
like
lucky, if you get lucky, you might think of me and have to stop and go, "Hold on, honey, I need another Viagra." You know, just thinking about that in the middle of sex and just stopping like, "Honey, hold on, I need another Viagra."
I'm getting flashbacks to that one video of Sex Send Me to the ER that I riffed on of the guy who like took too much Viagra.
Hey, did you hear about the kid? Did you hear about the kid who died of a Viagra overdose? There were third-degree burns on his hands. Get it?
Yeah.
His family took it very hard.
Larry the Cable Guy.
I'm gonna die before the stream ends.
Larry the Cable Guy had this routine about Viagra. He goes, "My nephew's on Viagra, pissing me off. 17 years old. You believe that? He ain't got no sexual problems. He's just real skinny, and he says the boner helps keep his pants up." He goes, "My grandpa's on Viagra just to keep his hopes up."
Or to keep him rolling out of bed.
It's a kickstand.
Walter and Jeff Dunham said, when I was his age, we had to walk 5 miles to get a condom. Uphill. In the snow. With a boner. And that's when Jeff does his usual, "Oh, stop it."
Fucking love those shows. But yeah, with the Code Veronica remake, first off, I'd give players the option of the tank controls and fixed camera angles, or using over-the-shoulder third person with a 3D with the 3D control scheme, or giving them a first-person perspective with the strafing control scheme.
The average controls for basically the classic controls for fixed camera angles, the RE2 remake controls for behind the shoulder, and RE Village controls for first person.
Yes, basically.
That would work.
I would also, just as a personal thing for me, bring back Roger Craig Smith to voice Chris and Allison Court to voice Claire. Because Roger Craig Smith is Chris Redfield. You will never convince me otherwise. Allison Court
don't want to come back, we'll just frickin' bring back the face model, or we'll just bring back Jordan McEwen for the face model and Stephanie what's her face for the voice of Claire.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if they do an official remake, that's probably what they're gonna do anyway.
Yeah. You know, I didn't think
Allison Court is to frickin' Claire, like what you said, like Roger Craig Smith is to Chris. They both voiced the characters for a long time.
Yeah, I just can't picture their voices. It's like, you know what was really weird about playing Sonic Frontiers is I wasn't used to Roger Craig Smith's Sonic voice. And it took me a while to really warm up to it because I grew up on Sonic X, the TV series. Jason Griffith.
I watched it too.
Jason Griffith was my Sonic. So I was used to that, or growing up.
That's our generation Sonic right there.
Or growing up on the '90s cartoons, Jaleel White was my number 2 Sonic. I'm just not used to Roger Craig Smith's voice coming out of Sonic's mouth, and I gotta be honest, Jason Griffith and Jaleel White's voices are better fits. The fact that Jaleel White hasn't had a cameo in any of the Sonic movies yet is a miscarriage of justice. One of the things I would change about the Code Veronica remake would be there was this thing that the original Code Veronica had where you had to have certain items in your inventory when you reached certain points in the game, and if you didn't have them, you were pretty much fucked. You could not finish the game. Like fire extinguisher. Like I think that was the one major item was a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. You lose that, you're fucked.
Yeah. If you don't, oh god, that was bullshit to the 19th power, and that's probably one of the reasons I haven't played Code Veronica that much. I've played the entire game maybe twice.
The game's almost 23 years old.
Yeah, which is slightly more than I've only played the original RE3 once. Because it's Nemesis is such a pain in the ass to deal with. Especially especially if you can't get the dodging down right, which
it's very precise in the original.
The dodging mechanic in the original game is touchier than a Vatican summer camp.
That's fucked up.
And it's goddamn frustrating to deal with, which is one of the reasons I haven't played the RE3 the original RE3 on the channel yet. It's because I still cannot get that down, and I want to do it on hard. I want to I want to get those Nemesis items. I suppose you could say I could download a PS1 emulator and do that. And you're right, if I can find one and get it to fucking work. My last attempt to get a PS2 emulator working ended in me being able to open it and never get it running.
Yeah, the only ever working emulator I've ever got was the Game Boy Advance emulator on my phone, which is where my Batman Begins playthrough came from, which I still gotta fucking finish that. I only have part 1 up, but then depression took hold, and I uploaded part 1 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Almost 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking hard to find a good working emulator, especially on PC.
Trying to think of other things I could add. So maybe make Steve Burnside less of an annoying bitch.
Yeah, less of a Wish brand DiCaprio.
Yeah. which, Jesus Christ, was he annoying. You know what? People complain about Ashley being irritating to deal with in the original RE4. Steve Burnside, even though you didn't really have escort missions with him, was such a sniveling brat. I could not stand him. I hate Steve Burnside. I hate everything about him.
I still cry like a bitch at his death scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so damn emotional.
Well, when I
I'll hate to admit, I found Steve annoying too, but I somehow still got attached to him. And I remember first playing the game and he died, I fucking lost my shit.
Well,
even so than when I first played Resident Evil Village.
Well, I have one clip that summarizes how I felt watching how seriously Capcom wanted me to take Steve's death. And I'm going to run it right now.
Oh my goodness!
I was Negan laughing.
I can't. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, dude, I've got Negan clips for days up in here.
Hey, when you use the box to push the tyrant out the plane, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, imagine Negan going up against a tyrant.
Yes. Dude,
he probably won't get far. He probably won't get far with Lucille, but.
Dude, Negan walking into the Ashford residence on Rockford Island. Hot diggity dog! This place is magnificent. One thing I would add to the Code Veronica remake is the dodge mechanic. Now that you mention it, I would definitely add the dodge mechanic from the RE3 remake, because man, that original Code Veronica fucking needed one. Especially in those,
with the goddamn sandworm fight.
The sandworm fight, the fucking tyrant fight in that one closed off balcony.
Like what the fucking worm fight? It's like, how much do you want to rip off Dune? Yes.
Yes. How much do you want to recycle the Gravedigger fight from RE3? Yes.
Yes. And actually make it easier because, like you said, touchier than the Vatican summer camp. I was gonna say touchier than a daycare ran by Epstein.
Okay, so the guy who did that
was that too far?
No. Okay, so the guy who did the previous video also posted some gameplay of Dead Island 2. I'm just gonna let that run while we talk, so that the audience has something to look at.
I can't believe I made that joke. I'm gonna get canceled now.
Nobody cancels you. You cancel yourself. That's my philosophy. You don't have to.
But that was a fucked up joke.
Still funny as hell.
I was like, you didn't start laughing, so I got a little uneasy.
Some of them, it's like, yeah, yeah, okay, fine, I'll laugh out loud. But others, it's like, god damn.
Touchier, then I'm not going to say it again.
Yes.
Hey, Jeffrey Epstein's dead. That's fucking great.
Hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself.
No, he fucking didn't. Fucking Clinton did. Well, Clinton had her goons take out the security cameras and hang him.
Well. Or you could say touchier than a Cosby pub.
You see, that's arguably more appropriate.
I was gonna make a joke about the guy about the Rick and Morty guy, but I can't remember his name anyway, and I never gave a fuck about Rick and Morty to begin with.
Dude, I read something where apparently they painted Rick's face on a missile. It's like you're about to, and it showed like the first image is of Goku frowning. The next image is of him smiling. The first image says when you're about to die in a missile explosion. The second image says, but you realize it's Missile Rick.
Nice.
Hey, if I found out I was about to die by Missile Rick, I'd smile. I'd die smiling too.
Ooh, dude, the damage system in this new Dead Island game. It's like they took the damage system from the last from the RE2 remake and were like, okay, let's amp this up. No, amp it up. I want this shit on crystal meth.
Crackhead zombie last seen smoking meth out of a Pepsi can. But
that's where you just cue the clip of Daryl going, "You are one ugly skank."
But I'm sorry, but considering Dead Island 2 has been delayed for years,
yeah,
it's hard to get excited about it because I played Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide to hell and back.
Now I can't speak for Riptide because I haven't played that yet. I have played the shit out of Dead Island 1.
Yeah, Riptide is the Dead Island. What Outbreak File 2 is the Outbreak. It's basically an expansion. It's like expansion on a disc.
Yeah. But on the plus side, we do have some gameplay to speak of. And supposedly we have a 2023 release date, so I will be cautiously optimistic about it.
I think it's already out, actually.
I think they should... I'm going to look that up. I think that instead of hyping up like this, they should just shadow drop it, like Bethesda just did with Hi-Fi Rush.
Isn't that from some of the creators behind Dead Space?
Okay, so Dead Island 2, April 28th, 2023. So we got a few months to go.
Fuck, I thought it was coming out. I thought it was out. I thought it said January or February of 2023 when I last saw a trailer for it.
Well, if you did, I guess it got pushed back a little bit. But I'd rather have a game be delayed and come out somewhat polished than a game that's rushed out and ends up being a buggy mess. I mean, the first Dead Island was pretty much shoved out there.
Yeah. Oh, it was so much fun punching zombies in Dead Island Riptide.
And look, I love Dead Island, but that game needed a few more hours in the oven.
It was 2011.
Well, at least now we'll switch from Dead Island 2 to Ill, which looks fucking freaky.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nick, whatever his last name is, voices that game.
Right, I had been hearing that. That they used the guy I've been watching who does like reveals of indie games had kept saying that they got like the voice actor who plays Leon Kennedy, and I'm like, which one? Because there's like 3 that are still alive. You got Paul Mercier, you've got Matt Mercer, and you've got Nick Apostolides.
Nick A.
Nick A. You got Nick A. which is it, motherfuckers? And okay, if it's the guy who's currently playing Leon, then fine.
Yeah, it's most likely Nick, because
Yes.
he's more predominantly known as Leon right now.
Probably. I mean, I would prefer it be Matthew Mercer because he's my favorite Leon.
I mean, the voice kind of didn't fit in the RE4, and the voice kind of didn't fit in Infinite Darkness, but I got used to it.
Eh. Well, I can say that Il definitely looks insane. Now, I don't know if I would. It's been so long since I last played Code Veronica that I can't say for certain if there are any areas I would expand on or any areas I would condense or cut down. It's been so long since I last played it to completion.
Right.
Uh,
I hope Il's coming to console.
yeah, so do I.
Because that looks something because it's giving me serious Resident Evil vibes.
Resident Evil mixed with The Thing.
Maybe throw a little Silent Hill in there too.
Oh, yeah. Which, I don't know how to feel about the Silent Hill 2 remake, because I do have a copy of the second game on Xbox, but I haven't played it yet. The only...
Yeah, that I think it's going to be a PS5 exclusive for God knows how long.
Yeah, like a timed exclusive, which is bullshit. Fuck off, Sony. You have no problem paying to have certain games exclusive to your console for a limited time, but you want to bitch and moan about Microsoft purchasing Activision, even though they're willing to let Call of Duty continue being on PlayStation for how long? But anyways, so yeah, if because you've probably played Code Veronica a lot more than I have. Are there any changes you would be willing to make? Any expansions or things you might want to cut out or cut down on? At least to your knowledge. You still there? Shit. Technical difficulty, please stand by. Good night, everybody. I guess. How long have we been going on for? Hour 13 minutes. I think I'll just find some, like...
There we go.
You're back?
We still live?
Yes, we are.
Son of a beach. Okay, I made it back. But what I said was I would basically remake the game with obvious environmental changes that are different but still look familiar. But ditch the spiders and moths, and knowing Capcom, they're probably gonna throw in fucking liquors somehow.
Yeah, because they seem to, with the exception of the RE3 remake, they seem to really love their liquors. I'm just throwing up my Callisto Protocol playthrough for the remainder of the stream, I guess. Yeah, I remember there being a heavy psycho influence revolving around Alfred Ashford. There was definitely some Hitchcockian stuff going on with the Ashford twins, and especially with the Ashford residence on Rockford Island.
Oh yeah.
So I wonder if there's a way to really expand on that and really lean into it or not. Like have extra notes that really dive into like how demented Alfred and Alexia's relationship is.
There was some clear incestual shit going on with that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. While we're talking about Alfred Hitchcock, here's something for the chat to see.
Uh-oh. Dropping something in the,
yeah, if it'll actually, never mind, it didn't save.
Huh. That sucks.
Gonna have to give me a minute.
Okay.
But, where were we? Oh, yeah.
We were talking about the Ashfords.
Yeah, some clear incestuous shit going on there.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine if Hitchcock directed Resident Evil.
If he had been alive that long, that would have made the movie definitely would have been much more twisted in at least it would definitely lean more into the suspense category than Anderson did with it. Which there would probably be more subtle suspense and more subtle thrills than what, because one of my issues with Anderson as his horror movies go, and this was kind of, it's been a while since I've seen Event Horizon, so I don't remember how well the horror aspect was used in that movie, but
yeah,
one of my big issues with Anderson, the way he handled horror, is that, and I've said this so many times that I'm pretty much blue in the face at this point. Horror relies on subtlety, and shoving scares in your viewer's face and blasting Marilyn Manson music during scenes that are supposed to be like you're getting your heart racing, you're biting your nails, you're just like fuck, this is insane. Like
fuck.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my god.
Tourette's guy. Fuck.
Yeah. Or you could do George Carlin. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat. But,
I was about to say, on that note, bring up what I sent.
Oh, yep.
Hold on, wait for it to catch up so I can see it on the screen. Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, I've got a clip.
You get ladies get pregnant by banging their shin against it.
I've got a clip to summarize how I feel about that.
Jim Carrey, Beavis and Butthead looking ass.
You know, if they ever did a Max Headroom movie, Jim Carrey would be the right guy to play him. Apart from the guy who
imagine a Beavis and Butthead movie starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Neil Patrick Harris.
God. Well, if you want it, I mean, apparently the new series does have episodes of them in their 40s.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, they could definitely play. Although, that would require Benedict Cumberbatch to wear a fat suit.
Yeah.
Because Butthead is. He's put on some pounds.
Oh, no shit.
In his 40s.
I mean, that's average dad. That's average dad bod. That's average dad bod age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then again, you're turning 30 on Tuesday.
Yep.
I'll have to remember that.
But trying to think of what else
30
could
birthday
be.
stream.
You could definitely add ammo crafting to the Code Veronica remake. God knows the last few Resident Evil games have used it, and ammo crafting is going to be back in the RE4 remake as well.
Gunpowder.
Yep, which is great to know because that actually that adds a new degree of challenge. It definitely it lets you prioritize which weapons you you create ammo for. Although I tend to just default to the pistols, especially when you get a fully upgraded Red 9. I tend to default either to the pistols or the shotguns.
And apparently you can use that shit to cauterize a wound.
Yeah, just ask every action movie hero that's ever done it.
Mila Jovovich doesn't count. Monster Hunter was an abomination.
Yeah, I'm not even a Monster Hunter fan, and I didn't like the Monster Hunter movie. Which, part of the problem is that Anderson needs to stop hiring Doobie White to edit his movies. Because he's been using him... He used Doobie White for Final Chapter, and he used Doobie White for Monster Hunter. And in both cases, the editing was just all over the place. It was truly abysmal. Like, I don't know.
Very choppy.
I don't know what the deal is with. I don't know why Anderson decided to use him for Monster Hunter after how disastrous the editing for Final Chapter was. You know, Afterlife and Retribution were genuinely bad, but at least they had some marginally entertaining action set pieces to fall back on.
Yeah.
Final Chapter doesn't even have that because of how erratic the editing is. To the point that you pretty much have to stitch all the scenes together in your mind to get anywhere, to figure out anything that happened. Although now that we're talking about it, I would probably, like, since DC Douglas is apparently now a confirmed and proven shitbag, I would probably bring back for the Code Veronica remake. I would probably bring back Sean Roberts to play Wesker, if he's not too expensive.
Rumor has it DC Douglas is voicing Wesker in RE4 remake.
Yeah, well,
apparently he broke the code and said it during an interview when he wasn't supposed to, so that's probably not going to last long.
Yeah. If he is, he is. If he's not, then okay.
We got 2 months till the game launches. They can surely swap out voices.
Yeah. I would hope so.
Because DC Douglas, he's suspended on Twitter, and when he joined this new social network called Hive, which is basically what happens when Instagram and Twitter have a baby. You know, it's a new social network. It's actually pretty nice to use. And he went on it and he said, "Let's see how long it takes them to ban me." And I said, "Well, you make rape jokes and dox your victims, so who really gives a fuck about you, bud?" And he blocked me.
Well,
and it's like, bitch. I posted that he blocked me, and all my fellow Resident Evil followers just said, "Me next, me next."
I think I do have a clip to summarize that.
Bust out like a bitch.
He's a fucking pervert piece of shit.
I'll just run it again for the sake of it.
Bust out like a bitch.
Yeah, I think I found that particular clip off of Crimson Rogue's 5-part review of the book Empress Teresa, which, if you haven't seen that, buddy, that is a rabbit hole of weapons grade stupid.
Bruh, remember when you showed me Rageaholic?
Yes, his Predator video.
When a Predator takes off his mask and he says, "And so begins the storied film career of Nancy Pelosi." I lost it. Bro, I still watch that and piss myself laughing every time.
Don't watch his reviews of RE5 and RE6 because he really didn't like them.
I mean, RE6 almost killed the series.
He also labeled Revelations the game Resident Evil 4 should have been. So, there's that.
Is he wrong?
I mean, it's his perspective, so...
It feels like an RE4. Like, it looks like the console version of that game look like something on PS2, so...
I mean, it is a port of a 3DS game.
Yeah. But, I'm glad that we, I'm happy with the RE4 we got, because, Leon's my favorite character.
Yeah. As overrated as I think he is at times, yeah, I probably like him the most, just because that RE2 is what I started the series with.
I started with Outbreak, but, like about 2 or so years after that was when Resident Evil 4 dropped. And I didn't play Resident Evil 4 really till I was 11. Even though I was like 6 or 7 when it came out.
Yeah, I think I was about 11 or 12. Yeah, I was about 11 years old when that came out.
Like, it came out like what, November 2005, the PS2 version did?
Yeah, but I played it originally on the GameCube.
I watched my dad play it on PS2. And I played the game myself when I was 10. And by the time I was 11, I had everything unlocked myself, far faster than my dad did. I think that's part of the reason my dad doesn't really play Resident Evil anymore. Hey, showed up. Hey. Upstage by your young autistic son. How about that?
Yeah. Now, I was trying to think of what else could be added to the Code Veronica remake, and I think
definitely have a Leon cameo.
Yeah, have a Leon appearance. him probably of getting word out to Chris of where Claire is. Trying to think of maybe expand on Steve's playable section of the game, where as Steve you have to go through this one area and take out a bunch of zombies with his machine guns.
Yeah. Bring back dual wield to Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, because we haven't had that since I think RE6. Because you could use Leon. Because you could dual wield Leon's VP70s.
Yep, and actually in the recent RE-verse, you can actually press both bumpers or L1 and R1 depending on what. Well, I can't remember what button you push, but there's a limited time ability that you can use where you can dual wield Leon's Matildas.
Hmm.
And also in RE, and you can actually, you know how RE8 Chris looks like RE6 Chris?
Yeah.
In RE-verse, you can unlock his Edonia BSAA uniform from RE6 in RE-verse.
Nice.
And I think it's called Golden Boy. You can also, of course, unlock his appearance in RE7. But, I like it. I mean, I don't hate his appearance in RE7, but I like his RE8 design better because it looks more like picking up of, like, years after Resident Evil 6.
Yeah. I get why they altered his look in 7. And it's hilarious watching all the RE fanboys who were like, that's not Chris Redfield. It's like they explicitly stated in the DLC.
It's Chris Redfield.
Yeah. They explicitly state it.
There was actually a theory going around saying it was actually Hunk impersonating Chris. I don't know if that was a legitimate theory or if someone was just trolling.
Well, who the hell knows?
If anything, Chris Redfield in RE7 looks more like what a Chris Redfield redesign would look like for a remake of RE1 on the RE engine.
Yeah, he looks closer to the original Chris. But Chris has been redesigned so many times it's insane.
Well, in the last in 5 and 6, they basically took the model from RE1 remake and aged it a bit.
And power injected rhino steroids into his dick vein.
Probably. Gotta have some big balls if you're gonna punch boulders.
Earlier I mentioned replacing DC Douglas with Sean Roberts, and I'm trying to think if there are... the one thought that I had was potentially the fight scene between Chris and Wesker at the end of Code Veronica X. I would probably make that an actual boss fight that you can play through. Not after you've capped Alexia. You could have a little fight scene with Wesker in the submarine pen.
Yeah, because after you defeat Alexia, you didn't really have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Have you actually have to run away from the like at the end of the RE2 remake or most Resident Evil games, we have to get to a certain area before that whole place fucking explodes. Have that at the end of the game.
Yeah, I would love to have that pre RE5 showdown with Wesker, because the cutscene that we did get, it's fun to watch, but I just keep thinking, man, how much cooler would it be if it was actually interactive?
Yeah, it could work.
Or, like, and not just have, like, I don't know, like, maybe not just have Chris be there, like, Claire could be his backup for a certain period of time in the boss fight.
Like switch back and forth like RE0.
Probably something like that.
Or like in like those Star Wars when you're fighting Count Dooku and you get held up by the Force and you have to press the button to switch the other Jedi to strike him.
Yeah, you could do something like that. That would be, or when you're fighting Alex Wesker in Revelations 2, for when you get the good ending, swapping between Barry and Claire.
Come at me, Shea Wesker. Barry had serious balls in that game.
Yes, I love Barry.
I swear his testicles dropped twice during that scene.
He's got boulders.
I swear. His testicles dropped twice.
He doesn't have balls, he has boulders. I still say Jeffrey Dean.
Huh?
I still say Jeffrey Dean Morgan should play Barry in the next Resident Evil movie.
I can see it. Or David Harbour.
Yeah. Well, I think right now David Harbour's too busy with the Violent Night sequel. Well,
they're really doing that?
Yeah, they're putting it in right now. It's in development, but they are going to do a second one.
Kind of knew them. I kind of figured that movie was going to be a hit.
And he wants Charlize Theron to play Mrs. Claus.
Really?
Yes. Hey, she was in Atomic Blonde, and she was great in Atomic Blonde. So, I mean, I'd watch it. It's another straight up, no bullshit action movie from 87-11. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
The only thing I've really seen Charlize Theron in was Mad Max.
Mm. Oh, she was great in Mad Max.
Yeah. I can't really say much considering I'm not that big of a Mad Max fan.
Yeah, she was good in Mad Max, Atomic Blonde. Even though this one's less of an action heavy role for her, the Italian Job with Mark Wahlberg and Edward Norton. She was in the last two Fast and Furious movies, and she's going to be in the next one. She's kind of this new central villain that they've had in since Fast 8. And in the next movie, she's going to be sicking Jason Momoa on Vin Diesel and the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
Oh. Which I will happily watch those movies before I go to the theater to see another MCU flick. Because at this point, the last several MCU movies I've seen in the theater have been mid at best and mediocre at worst.
Oh, don't get me started on mediocre.
The last one I saw was Eternals, and that was the apex of mediocre.
Dude, the Indian actor who was in that.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, apparently someone said, "I wonder if his dick is multiple colors," and he said, "Yeah, every shade of your mom's lipstick."
Nice.
There's also this one guy who dealt with a heckler saying, "Where's there? Where's?" Hang on, I'm trying to figure out which one it was, but where's Aaron?
Aaron who?
I don't know, but it was a comedian dealing with a heckler. But I'm trying to find the full joke, but basically it goes... Hold on, I gotta look at my history, but let's just say it ends with someone in the audience yells, "Where's so-and-so?" And the guy deals with a heckler by saying, "He's at your house fucking your dad." I mean, a lot less brutal than when George Harlan destroyed a heckler.
I remember watching a clip of an outtake from one of Jeff Dunham's specials, and they had lost track of where they were, and a guy from the audience tries to help steer them back, and Walter's like, "Excuse me, did the ticket say Jeff, his friends, and a drunken asshole in the back?" Methinks not.
I found it. It's apparently the joke was, "Where is Alan?" And someone in the audience yelled, "Where is Alan?" Heckling him, and Jimmy Carr just said, "He's at your house fucking your dad." Meanwhile, George Carlin, he's fucking brutal when dealing with hecklers.
Oh, he was vicious in his comedy. He did not let up for anyone. And
I'm pretty sure some of those hecklers he destroyed went home and killed themselves.
God, I hope not. Because if that's what sends you over the edge, is you getting roasted by a comedian, then man, that's a depressing state of life.
Go get therapy. It's free.
But anyways,
where's Alan? He's at your house fucking your dad. What would make that joke hurt more is if the heckler he destroyed doesn't have a dad. But then again, it's like you decide to heckle a savage, so that's kind of what's coming to you.
I just thought of that time Bill Burr roasted a heckler in one of his own specials. He goes, "Are you the one who got up halfway through and left halfway through the show? Like we're supposed to not notice? Like we're not filming a fucking stand-up special here?" Talking about hitting women, sweetheart, and I think you just added another reason to the list.
That's fucked up.
Oh yeah, Bill Burr's comedy is... I don't know how accurate the comparison is, but I heard somebody say he's basically just Nick DiPaolo with a filter. Which I haven't seen any of Nick DiPaolo's stand-up. I've only seen him on... When I was a kid, I used to watch... Or when I was younger, I used to watch World's Dumbest on True TV all the time. It was one of my favorite shows to watch, and he was a regular guest on that show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
trying to think about what else could be added to the Code Veronica remake.
Probably maybe some references to Mother Miranda,
Yeah.
because apparently she was Oswald Spence. Apparently, one of Oswald Spencer's mentors.
Yeah. Yeah, if she knew Spencer, she might have known Alexander Ashford as well.
Probably.
I can't. It's been a while since I played Village, so I can't remember if there is a reference to the Ashfords in it. I just remember the one reference to. I just remember the reference to Spencer during Chris's segment late in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe a little reference to Mother Miranda would be nice.
Maybe even a reference to frickin' fuck. Might as well throw in a. I don't know if the Connections were around during 1998, but maybe throw in a reference to the Connections as well.
To the Connections.
The people who are about to, like, at the end, the Not a Hero DLC.
Oh, right. The
What Lucas Baker, the people Lucas Baker was in contact with.
Right. The people behind Evelyn.
Yeah. Who was apparently really pissed off at Rose in the Shadows of Rose DLC.
Mm.
Because it's like, how come they love you but not me? Well, maybe because Rose is not a whiny little bitch. Or maybe because, well, Rose is not an evil little shit.
Or maybe because, unlike Evelyn, Rose isn't a direct ripoff of Alma from Fear.
Right.
I need to play that on the channel at some point.
Shadows of Rose or Fear.
Well, I need to play Shadows of Rose anyway, but I do need to play Fear on the channel.
You were supposed to just say yes, but okay. Because we were on a roll with that kind of thing earlier.
Well, it happens.
This or that. Yeah. This or that. Yes. I'm sorry. Those answers are always the funniest. Just yes.
Yeah. Ooh.
Depends on the question asked.
Yeah. Now, as far as updates for the next few games I play, because I'm adopting the long play format, I want to try and play some shorter games coming up here, maybe some more NES or Super Nintendo or Genesis games. I don't know how long it'll be before I decide to play another longer game. It might end up being Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, like when it gets around time for the Super Mario Brothers movie to come out in April.
Oh yeah.
Even though Luigi is not in that game, except for a passing reference, which I think is just odd, but whatever. I do know, since my 30th birthday is coming up, I want to celebrate by playing the original Legend of Zelda for the channel, which it's the opening chapter of my favorite video game franchise of all time. So why wouldn't I want to play it?
Yeah, I'd say go for it, man.
Oh yeah. But that's not even a long, like there are playthroughs of that game that are 2 hours apiece.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Besides, NES games aren't even that long to begin with.
Yeah, most of them you could finish in under an hour if you're good enough. I mean,
Unless
my
unless unless it's Batman: Revenge of the Joker on NES.
yeah.
The first fucking level, and I can't get past it. Yeah, watch Angry Video Game Nerd's video on Batman. Which is a video he obviously did to tie into the Dark Knight movie, which came out around the time of that video.
Yeah. Which I'm just gonna say it. I am pretty much in the same boat as him when it comes to the Dark Knight. I like it, but I don't love it.
I don't know. Heath Ledger's fucking terrifying.
See, Heath Ledger to me, Heath Ledger as the Joker, he was fine for that movie, but as the Joker, and especially someone from me, who is more a fan of Jack Nicholson's Joker and Mark Hamill's Joker, I just don't.
I'm not really a fan of Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah, Jared Leto, I'm not like. I was intrigued by Pimp Daddy Joker, but
yeah, well, there's a reason I call him Jared Leto now.
Well,
I don't know if it's true, but until there's information that says otherwise, he's Jared Leto.
Well, I assume innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Which is why
if it was someone involved, if like for example, if there's like an uncle or aunt figure in my kid's life, and I find out there was some allegations against them, I'll keep my kids away from them just in case.
Now, see, you've got to do that because like Steve Wilkos said, you don't roll the dice with your kids. But
right.
I don't have kids, and I don't personally know Jared Leto, so I don't have. I don't want
to believe it, but you never know.
I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of sort of refuse to believe it, but then again, you never know what to fucking believe these days.
Yeah. But at the same time, I shit on Andrew Tate because there are multiple videos of him basically providing a step-by-step process of using the Loverboy method of human sex trafficking, which he admitted which he didn't outright admit it, but the method he used to recruit cam girls for his webcam business pretty much aligns with the Loverboy method.
Pretty fucking much, man.
Which is why I say he is guilty as sin. That and I mean, come on, the Romanian authorities have seized his car collection. They don't seize the law enforcement does not seize your assets unless they can prove that you acquired them through ill-gotten gains. In this case, from scamming, from seducing and scamming women, multiple women. Now, that's why I've had it up to 5 miles above my head with Sneeko, Aiden Ross, and the rest of the 75th Nut Hugger Regiment, devoting every waking moment of their lives to erecting statues in his honor.
The fuck?
They might as well be.
Alright, just the way you said that, the fuck? It's like the Italian man went to Malta. They brought me a spoon and a knife, but no fuck. I told her I wanted a fuck. And she says, everybody want to fuck. And it's like, you don't understand, I want the fuck on the table. And she said, you better not fuck on the table, you son of a bitch. Finally, he goes to... The waitress brings me 2 pieces of toast. He only brings me one piss. He said, I want 2 piss. He says, go to the toilet. You don't understand? I want 2 pisses on my plate. He said, you better not piss on the plate, you son of a bitch. I did not even know this. I did not even know this person, and they called me a son of a bitch. Later on, he gets back to the hotel, and there's no shit on the bed. He called the manager. I tell him I wanted the shit. He said, go to the toilet. You don't understand? I want the shit on my bed. He said, you better not shit on the bed, you son of a bitch. Eventually, he has enough, goes to the checkout, and the guy at the counter says, peace on you. And the guy says, like, peace on you too, you son of a bitch. I'm going back to Italia. Just look up the Italian man who went to Malta. It's fucking gold, I promise you.
Nice. But yeah, I just... You know the sad thing about Tate is that he doesn't believe 1 ounce of the bullshit that comes out of his mouth. He's a narcissistic grifter who relies on ignorance, on blind ignorance, to sell his grift, which in turn allows him the lifestyle necessary to fuel his narcissism. The only people who buy into his bullshit are 12-year-olds and incels. Because he tries to sell you on this on simulation theory, which I don't know if you've heard of this. I only just recently heard of it myself. But it's basically the idea that we're all actually living in a simulation. Which,
yeah, I'm sorry, but if you believe we're in a simulation, there's the fucking door.
And it's so basically, which explains why he acts like a Grand Theft Auto 5 character, because
I wouldn't say he's a Grand Theft Auto 5 character. I wouldn't say he's a Grand Theft Auto character, but he is one of those Grand Theft Auto NPCs you just want to shoot in the fucking face.
Oh, he definitely is. He acts like life is a GTA server. He acts like a living caricature of GTA of GTA playboys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The whole idea that we're all living in a simulation is just laughable at best, and I know if I tried buying into 1 ounce of that bullshit, my dad would have been like, my dad would have just smacked me up the back of the head and go, "Do you think that was simulated? Does that feel like a simulation?"
I mean, if it was a simulation, you probably wouldn't feel it.
Exactly. Do you think you're in a simulation now? And he would just keep slapping me up the back of the head until he knocked some sense into me. That's the kind of guy my dad was. He didn't hit you unless he absolutely had to.
It's a shame I never got to meet the man.
Yeah. Oh, you would have dug him. He had a very unique sense of humor, which is probably where I got my unique sense of humor from.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, the guy was in the Navy, and then he was a corrections officer for over 20 years of his life. The stories he could tell and the shit he could talk about was really something. And now the stream has gotten sentimental instead of autistic.
What's the difference?
Right. Do you have anything else to add to the discussion of the topic at hand? Because I am out of material.
Yeah. Do we bring back Rodrigo or cut him?
I say bring him back, but give him kind of like Marvin in the RE2 remake. Give him more character
Like
to go with.
Feel out.
and you could actually watch him as he slowly slips away until Claire comes back with the necessary medication for him.
And then, but maybe twist it, say like, oh, he never encounters Chris. They're just gonna pull a Marvin and say, oh, but Claire goes to give the medicine to him, but it's too late. He's already turned into a zombie.
Probably, yeah.
They might. Let's be honest. That's probably what they're gonna do.
Yeah, assuming
then,
they are gonna do an RE Code Veronica remake, which.
And then let's face it, they're probably gonna like throw in a cutscene beforehand and say, oh, like when we encounter him, we see him get bitten, and Claire helps put the zombie down.
Yeah, that would be nice. Well, if that's the extent of what you've got, I've got nothing else to add. So I think we're going to cap it off. Sorry, what?
I said yippers.
So I think we're going to cap it off here. So we'll catch